Chat, here we go. It's Nass versus FBI. It is the second match for FBI on stream. We had him sometime last week debuting against Evo, and he actually hit the nastiest shot to start out that one. Is he going to try and do it again? No, he's going to get denied this time around. He started off that show match. Oh, Nass, that was a big miss. By all means, that should have been a goal. He started off the Evo show match with, I think, a triple flip reset, and it looked like he was about to try it again, but Nass stopped him. Nass must have watched the film, or honestly, these guys have probably ran into each other a little bit in ranked, and he was not about to get triple flip reset on at the start. So I think FBI comes in as an underdog for sure. You know, we haven't been able to see him against the top of the ones game right now, especially on EU servers. We got him against, he technically played on EU servers against Evo, but those cross matchups are always tough for the North American. He had a great start, but if you were to be able to get a win against FBI, or sorry, against Nass, that would certainly be quite the win. It would send waves, I think, through the ones community about what FBI might be capable of. Nass has been grinded on his ones game for a while. These guys are just, I swear, is it just me or were they constantly going back and forth between ball cam there for a second? I was getting sick. But the game slowing down now. Ooh, nice power slide by FBI as he slides his way into the corner to grab the 100 boost. That shot never going to turn into much, and he's actually on 0 now. Nass thought he could use the fact that he had the advantage to get the demo, but just a couple pixels away. And now it's Nass trying to start off his scoring with a ceiling reset. Nice defense by FBI. He's pre-jumping to start the initial dribble, and he's also back down quickly and up again to stop Nass in a follow-up. FBI just got gifted a setup from Nass as he sent the ball off the back wall. Nice reset. This is going to be, unfortunately, a goal for Nass if you're an FBI fan, because despite the nice play, Nass is able to give it a bit of extra speed and send it off the back wall. You have to get those reset shots, for the most part, crossing the goal line in the air, but not only that, probably crossing the goal line high in the air in order to make sure the saves are tough and there's no counter. How am I going to watch show matches that haven't been uploaded to YouTube yet? If you're streaming, you big ol' meanie. Wait, well, I'm not sure. How am I going to watch show matches that haven't been uploaded to YouTube yet if you are streaming? Oh, yeah, I'm confused. I guess wait for them to show up on YouTube? Nass couldn't find a ton of scoring to start this game, but has himself a 2-1 lead now. Ground pinch not available, so he couldn't get around the ball. He's got FBI starved out. FBI creeping into the corner in the position where he probably needed to cover the net. Nass is going to punish to make it 3-1. I think I mentioned it before, but Nass comes into this one as the favorite for sure. I imagine chat's prediction, which should be closed by now, probably reflects that. But you never know. It's always a bit of a wild card. FBI currently rated number 23. I checked right before the match on the leaderboard. Nass, though, rated number 1, I believe. Number 1 overall, not just number 1 EU. I think he's holding it down at the top. Followed by Zen and then AJ. AJ's actually been surging up the rankings. AJ is a great stream to follow, by the way, if you're a ones fan. He queues a lot of ones on ranked. A lot of ranked ones on stream, which not a ton of top ones players do. Or oftentimes players will queue multiple modes, and if they get a ones game, they'll play it. But AJ will sit queuing only ones, so you know you're going to get 1v1. But enough talk about AJ. He's been rising in the rankings, but right now we have ourselves a nice EU server matchup, and FBI, I think, was trying to jump off the ceiling and lost contact with his wheels. He wanted to single jump off the ceiling and then get down to the ball. And so he wasn't worried about the angle that he was holding his control stick, because on the first jump, there's no way you can flip. But he was wrong about the fact that his wheels still had contact. So a Feel's backflip at ceiling heights, and now Nass to kick up follow-up. It's been a couple surges for Nass. Got his lead initially with a few goals in a row. He's going to extend it again. Can FBI get this kickoff goal? Kind of feels like he needs it. He does slot it bottom right. FBI needed probably a kickoff possession here late. He's trying to be as patient as possible, single jumping into that ball, saving a bit of boost. Nass doesn't have a ton left over in order to finish this dribble, and FBI is able to get the save. FBI probably wanted either a demo attempt or to steal the ball. That's why you see Nass slamming on the brakes, because he's either going to drive himself into his own death or he can just back off the ball. FBI with 0. This is going to be a solid setup for him. He will go and take it in the air, but I feel like he was forced to take it in the air. He tried his best to wait, and then Nass made him go up. I think the better situation would have been him just accepting the fact that he was going to have to go up early and try and make an aerial play out of it. Nass is going to pop off here the other way, but his crossbar down and out. And so FBI still has a chance as he undercuts. He has a boost advantage. Nass will clear this across. Every second so valuable, but it does seem like FBI will get this goal eventually. The problem is it took him too long. So as the clock winds down, he gets it with 1 second left. Nass left the game, but it's possible to win with 1 second left. He's back. I see him potentially being able to skip. Is he on? Wait a second. Okay, he's there. Like, Nass has to come in and make sure that this doesn't get chipped up. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. It is going to be a game win. But there's just not enough boost for FBI to get underneath that ball. Game number 1 goes to Nass, but just by a slim margin. You know, honestly, you're just going to let FBI tie it up without you there. So nothing to be sorry about. You just almost had to play an overtime that you shouldn't have had to play. Game number 2. FBI did make it a 1-goal game, but not your typical 1-goal game. Certainly, watching through the whole 5 minutes of gameplay, felt like Nass had that win for the vast majority of the time. And Nass is going to start off with a nice power shot to go up 1-0. Made it seem like he might take the ball to the side wall there. Something that FBI wanted to pressure, but it was just a fake as Nass power slides and cuts back to get a 1-0 lead. Nass to the skies. The reset musty. FBI makes it back just in time. FBI wasn't even on screen, but the power from Nass was slow enough to give FBI a chance. FBI has had a couple great defensive stands. Gonna have to pair it with some offense. Did he get Nass to own goal? No, he did not. Nass did tap the ball back into his half, but not strong enough for it to be a goal. That setup led to absolutely nothing. FBI actually doesn't have a great boost spawn, though, so he'll be forced to take it to this opposite corner, and by the time he does that, Nass will have a play on the ball, but demoed immediately. FBI preferring to go on the ground. He really had his choice of offensive takes there. You'll see lots of players in the ones game nowadays defaulting to going up into the air. FBI wanted to play the ground game. Nass will punish with a long shot again. Just drops this down to himself and booms it just over the top of FBI. Nass watching to see if he's going to be forced into the air or not, as he'd like to stay grounded. FBI sticks around. FBI backing off. He's been playing this goal line defense, allowing Nass to do what he wants. That had to be a mistaken backflip, I would think. Unless maybe he was trying to avoid Nass chasing him down at the midfield, because he did get a nice possession. Low 50, covered by Nass. Nass watching him. Wants to be able to set up a clean possession. Didn't really get one. A demo is going to make it work out. And he's going to tap this in slowly to waste a bit more time. But it looked like his possession was going nowhere as he carried the ball and flicked it into the corner. But a demo can make anything look worthwhile. Nass watched that replay. He wanted FBI to watch it again. FBI camera checking now. Maybe noticed that Nass was going to try and dive. Because if so, he can beat him to the ball and potentially punish. Whereas if Nass is backing off, he might want to get just a clean possession. He needs to turn this in for a goal. Nass isn't too often going to give you free opportunities like this. And I think this comes as a sign of how Nass feels about the matchup so far. That he is willing to try and get creative. FBI, another razor thin margin save. This time, saves it off the crossbar. Nass going all the way back to his corner. FBI forcing him to take this dribble across the whole field. The thing is, Nass is capable of doing it. He goes for the pogo. Didn't get any height on it. That allows FBI to get the save, and he is just going to play a quick counterattack. Might have played it too hard. He should still score. I think it's possible to keep that underneath the crossbar, but FBI prioritizing Nass not getting a touch. Probably the right call, as he's easily able to follow up the high touch into a goal. Anomalous, thank you for the tier 1 for 6 months. Much appreciated. FBI, we know he has the aerial game. He showed it to us moments into his first show match. He hasn't been able to get to it today. Largely in part because of Nass's early challenge. I think it's just nice fake there. Got Nass up in the air. Sorry, I got distracted by how this goal line face-up was going to go. FBI now completely lost out on boosts. I think Nass fairly low as well. FBI will be the first to reset, but Nass chasing this ball down into the blue half. He's going to back off now to get the back corner. FBI, can he break down Nass? Nice shots. Delayed as long as possible. The danger of delaying too much means that side flip maybe puts it outside of the net. But Nass forced finally to turn towards the ball, but a bit too late. FBI is going to make it 4-3. Virgil, thank you for the tier 1 for 21 months. My goodness. Been a long time subbing. That's a good sign for FBI. In the previous game, these kickoffs were certainly going in Nass's favor, allowing him to extend out every lead. FBI has at least gotten a couple back this time around, although he just missed this touch. I think he was planning on letting that ball bounce over the top of him. I want everybody to keep track of all the FBI jokes made in chat and count up the number of good ones. And remember who made the funniest one, if any, because it's going to happen every time he plays. 0 so far. FBI, nice flick. Luck Dragons, thank you for the prime. And if you see a good one, make sure to write it down. Next time FBI plays, maybe that other chatter won't be there, and you can just reuse it. Nass into the air dribble. Ooh, could not get the catch to try and get the punish after he got FBI to miss. FBI has no boost to work with, so we'll tap this to the wall. Dove fairly deep for somebody playing on 0, and you know, this is the reason why I say that. Hard to get back from that position and make a reasonable save, especially with this first flip being towards the 100 boost. You're just leaving the net wide open. Not that you'd be in a much better shape trying to shadow and play on 0. Most likely you'd eventually get broken down for a goal, but I do think it'd be the better option than diving for the 100. FBI 15, he's thinking about that midfield, decided against it. Maybe he didn't want to make 2 boost grab mistakes in a row. Nass, this is not a very threatening dribble. But FBI actually doesn't make a Great challenge on the ball to steal it away. 0 seconds on the clock. That will hit ground. So overtime in game number 2. Seems like a overtime that FBI has to win. Coming in as the underdog here against Nass in his second match. Nass is going to fake the kickoff in order to get the first possession. That's not a great ball, though. Rolling that strong on the side wall means there is going to be no air dribble from it. Best he could do is try and carry it for a side flip flick. FBI has a corner boost steal. Got Nass to single jump wave dash, but Nass is in such solid control of the ball. The demo should be a game win. Nass just showing his ball control. FBI is shadowing there close, doing his best to make Nass awkward, and I think you play against a lot of opponents and they will hand you the ball there. But Nass single jumped because of the fake challenge and turned it into a wave dash carry that resulted in a demo and a game win. So game number 2 to Nass as well. Just one more to finish out the sweep. Game number 3. Yeah, FBI is 18. I think a couple people in chat, maybe because it's a new MENA player, just assumed that it must be a next-gen level player, you know, an under 15-year-old player. That is not the case with FBI. FBI, 18 years old, has been playing in the RLCS, as I mentioned in his debut, for, you know, at least the past year. Likes to break Nass down with these side flips. These are the kind of 1v1 mechanics that you guys in chat can probably emulate. Lots of things can be done fairly mechanically easily. You have to have the nerves to not fall for the fake challenge like FBI did, and then just time the side flip to put it behind him. FBI allowed to get this possession. The long distance flick is going to have to be far more powerful if he wants Nass to miss on the goal line. Nass to the ceiling. FBI is there but misses, and Nass is going to miss as well. Nass has had a few uncharacteristic misses. FBI allowed to keep the lead, and this is just a desperation flip. Right here, this flip is just, I should have scored that flip. By no means should Nass be diving towards the ball here. Fake kickoff for Nass. Another dribble starting at ceiling heights. Stopped by FBI. Into the second dribble. So far, he's done a good job of defending the second dribble as well. This time, not so lucky as Nass able to line up the air dribble bump and get himself on the board in game 3. FBI, seemingly after that mistake where he focused a bit too much on boost, he has very clearly been avoiding it, but I feel like you can even see the decision making in his head where for a second he looks at it and says, no, I don't need it, I can play on 0. And he proved to himself that he could as he gets himself a third goal. Single jumping over the bump from Nass. He actually just wave dashed on top of him, and that missed landing means he will not be able to get back around before Nass scores his second goal. What makes Salt Mine more special than other 1v1 tourneys? Yeah, if you're just watching this on the YouTube, maybe you didn't know that it has been announced. Salt Mine 3. I think the biggest thing about Salt Mine, I think the original Salt Mine might not have been sponsored by Psyonix, but I think maybe all 3 of them were sponsored by Psyonix. I think the Manfield ones were not. So the reason why Salt Mine is, you know, different is because the extra support given by the developer leads usually to, you know, a much more premier tournament than anyone else can put on without their help. So that's the reason why you should get excited. It's kind of like if Psyonix were to put on a 1v1 RLCS, you know, the level of commitment and production to that would be obviously increased because probably all the players would play it for the most part. So I think that's what the reality is. Salt Mine is probably the closest we get to that. Nass, great shots. He has just been a couple pixels off on all these. This time, though, it's crossbar down and in. And hopefully we can watch this on the replay because we were watching from FBI's perspective. And that is an element that FBI has not been able to match. Nass has been attacking through the air FBI, like I said, other than his initial starts, almost got immediately convinced not to. But he has had a really solid aerial defense. Thank you, Jouv2K, for the Prime. The 9 months of Prime. Keep up with the great content. You've timed your 9-month Prime right around when my kid will be born. So you must have perfectly been doing it during the pregnancy. FBI, nice 50. Talking about the aerial gameplay. A lot of that is because Nass has been trying to stop it. He couldn't stop this one as the 50 gets forced into the corner. And the ground follow-up is easy. Light 7? They give it a 2-month Prime. FBI taking this into his back corner. Should be able to reset on the 100. Nass is just sticking around. Really, I mean, Nass actually didn't have a ton of options here. With the boost disadvantage, FBI just reset on 100. He literally just pops the ball center field and says, maybe FBI will mess this up. And if he does, I'll be around to capitalize. And it turns out he was right. I think FBI would prefer to have that back. I think he was headed towards the back wall to start his, drive to make a save. And the ball was just put perfectly awkwardly center field where he couldn't get to it. 6-4 for Nass as he looks to finish off his sweep. FBI has shown moments during pretty much every game. The first one was probably the toughest for him. Of course, game 2 went to overtime. Nass, the power slide cut. FBI is actually back down, made him miss twice. Oh, and he's going to stop it on the goal line. Oh, no! He did him so dirty. He did him so dirty with this final one. Oh. That was just mean. Nass is bullying. Like I said, of course, that comes right after I said FBI has been playing really well. FBI is, especially in game 2, had chances to win. And Nass is going to allow him to shoot this directly into the net. A little bit too much of a delay kickoff. Nass chasing down FBI. Yeah, doing well to not let him make a play on the ball. It's just costing him so much boost to get the setup, so now he's going to be forced to back off. And now Nass through the air, try and ice out the Showmatch. Another great defensive stand on an aerial attack from FBI. Nass is doing a good job of threatening lots of options. Yeah, finding a way to cover all of them and never get beat on the fake. Now he's just going to drive this ball directly at the back of Nass. Unable to steal this back corner boost. Could be relevant here if Nass ends up finding his way back to that corner. Nice bump from FBI, or sorry, from Nass onto FBI. And there's that 100 grab that maybe would have been FBI's if he had been able to take it. FBI now air dribble with 20 seconds. Couldn't get his car on the ball to get the reset, which is what he needed to take what was a poor first touch and make it scoreable. Nass pre-jumping cannot stop this flick, so 7 seconds left to go. FBI fully backed against the wall. Down 2 in the series, down 1 in the game. He's got 7 seconds and a dream if he wants to keep it alive. And Nass has been faking a ton in these situations. This time, he does take a standard kickoff. Nass is going to get himself low on boost here with FBI 100 to work with. Nass will be forced to back off. And now it's FBI, nerves of steel. They cannot keep that one from hitting the ground, though. It'll be a sweep. Nass gets a 3-0 over FBI in his second match on stream.